and try something different until I figure it out. So the thoughts, if anybody gets anything out of this, is like, be careful with what your thoughts are. Your reality is shaped by what you think, what you focus on every single day. So when I was in that deep depression from my divorce, it was all I could focus on. I didn't have anybody to come home to. I didn't have a husband, didn't have money, that lack, that scarcity. And that's all I was focusing on. And when I was doing that, I was creating more of it. And so when I finally realized, you know what, I need to start thinking more positive energy. And it's so true. It sounds cliche, but it is so true. I started thinking about, how can I make Souligna happy today? How can I make Souligna feel like she's loved today? And when you start asking yourself better questions, your brain is it's wired to figure out, how is she going to do this? How can we do this? Same principles apply to your business. How can I generate income? How can I create more amazing clients? How can I have more fulfilling relationships? So I started writing a list of asking myself better questions to get more of what I wanted. I want more confidence. I want more happiness. I want more fulfilling relationships. I want more enlightened, engaged conversations. I wanted more powerful conversations. And so when I started thinking about every aspect of how I want to change my life, my brain started figuring out ways to try to make that happen. And so energy flows, right?
Yeah.
Where your thoughts go. So, and that's what I'm going to say to you is like, Tasha, you're right. Like, your energy, the thoughts of wanting more and being better and having someone in your life that's going to love and cherish you. I just wrote all that stuff down. I lived it. I believed it. I walked and breathed it and acted as if I already had those things, because the universe is always providing. God always wants to give you what you want. It's us who creates those obstacles because of our fears and our thoughts that keep us limited from, thinking about we're not worthy. We're not going to get that. So that's where the thoughts had to shift. I didn't want to come from lack. I didn't want to come from fear. I said, I deserve everything that I want. And how am I going to make this happen? We all have the power in our own hands to create the life that we really want. The question is, what kind of fears are you going to keep you from doing that? And so for me, I have to conquer fears every day. That's my challenge to myself. I'm committed to being better and greater than this. I'm committed to not playing small. I'm committed to not living in fear anymore. And even despite of the face of fear, I'm going to do it anyway. And defying my parents, defying my family, defying what everybody thought was, you can't do that, or you're going to fail. Your business is flopping. You're not going to, but yet here I am. I'm speaking on stage with some of the big names like Les Brown. I'm impacting businesses who, I get to see my clients make a lot of money and, chase their freedoms and their dreams. That's all fulfilling for me. That's what I wanted. And so these things are happening for me. And it's all because I just had full faith belief, and I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared of the unknown, because I know that from pain and uncertainty and not feeling safe and comfortable is where you grow the most. It's where you learn, and it's where power comes from.
Absolutely. So every day, I know you a little bit, so I know that you incorporate all of this with everybody you work with too, and you do it so smoothly. But it's so matter of factly, like, well, this is how it is. You have to do this to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So
Mm-hmm.
what would be the two things that you tell people to stay, or how do you stay committed to yourself and your goals? Is it those lists? Or what if somebody says, oh, I don't want to make lists? What would your response be to them?
Well, you basically just said it right there. Ask yourself every single day, what are you committed to?
Right.
What are you committed to? Who are you committed to being?
And that is
what
it.
kind of lifestyle do you want? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use an example. There's lots of people out there that say, oh, I know I could lose weight. I know I need to get to the gym. I know I need to eat better. I know it. And they say these things, and they know they're not happy with their bodies. They know they're not happy with their physical health. They know they're not supposed to be drinking that second, third, fourth can of soda pop. but yet they're not disciplined and they're not committed to not creating and continuing those bad habits. And so, there's two core emotions where we operate from. It's either fear or love. Anything negative, whether it's, I don't feel good about myself, I don't feel pretty enough, or, I'm not smart enough, I don't have enough money, whatever negative fears that you can think of, jealousy, anger, resentment, whatever that is all fear-based. So I challenge you, the next time an emotion comes up in you, when you want to react with anger or spitefulness, ask yourself in that moment, what am I really afraid of right now in this moment? And why am I feeling like this? Because if you were truly operating from a space of love, you wouldn't have those feelings. You would look at that other person with some compassion and empathy and say, you know what? You're safe. It's okay. I love you and I'm not here to hurt you. And watch how that person completely disarms themselves with getting defensive, with being argumentative, or whatever it is. So, but I want to draw and illustrate this is, so people who say they want to lose weight, they want to eat better, it's all about commitment. They're not committed to being on track with their weight loss and their diet because they continue doing the same thing they're doing. They're eating a burger, they're eating those chips, they're drinking another can of pop, whatever. So it's like, I have to look at myself every day. I could have another bag of Cheetos, but that's not what I'm committed to. I'm committed to making sure that my body is healthy. I'm 42 years old. I've been in 2 really bad car accidents. So I have pain in my body and I'm like, I have to manage that. And it starts with eating better, exercising, even when I don't want to go, even when it's cold and raining, make yourself get up and say, what am I committed to today? So every morning when I wake up and smile, I say my gratitude, I say my affirmations, and I ask myself, what am I committed to doing today? Who am I committed to being today? And that's where your affirmations start. I'm committed to fulfilling relationships. I'm committed to providing value to the people who are searching and praying for me. I'm committed to being a better mom, making sure that I'm present in every moment when my son is asking for my time. I'm committed to staying on time to respect my clients who have scheduled time with me, right? So every day, throughout the day, it's same as affirmations. What am I committed to? What are you committed to, Tasha? And get yourself back on track. So, we're allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed to forgive ourselves, and we're not perfect. We are human. But if you stay on track 70% of the time, then you're standing in your commitment to yourself.
Well, it's really interesting because now I have a question, and it is about one thing I tend to do with everything I'm doing is I get stuck in my head. How do you push yourself to action because I'm thinking these things. Sometimes I think them too long and then I have to go. So it's like, what do you do just to push yourself? Just do it? Maybe it's that Michael Jordan thing to do it.
The most dangerous place for you to be, anybody to be, is a monologue. When you are lost and you're just stuck. And I compare it to sometimes with my son when he throws a tantrum and he's just emotionally just traumatized over things so silly. And it's like, that's the same thing. Our 7-year-old comes out and we want to be angry. We want to be righteous. We want to be right. We want to be whatever it is. You just want to be on it. And that's what I say is like when you're stuck, your brain, again, because you're so focused on that, it's not going to snap out of it. So for me, I always got to say, you can choose to be happy or you can choose to be whatever state you want to be in right now at this moment. And whatever you decide, honor that. I always say honor your feelings, but don't stay there too long because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve me by staying angry and pissed off the rest of the day. It doesn't serve me to be jealous and hurt and thinking all these negative thoughts of my partner and thinking the worst of him. Because why would I want to think that of him? Because deep down, I love this man and I know that he would never hurt me and he would never betray me and he would never, jeopardize our trust, right? So I start asking myself other questions about what are you committed to? I'm committed to being happy. I'm committed to creating fulfilling relationships. I'm committed to attracting the same kind of people that want that with me. And so when I ask myself these questions, so that's what it is, when you're stuck in that monologue, just start asking yourself better questions. And that's really, it's a discipline. It doesn't happen overnight. These past 2-3 years has been grueling hell for me. I cry almost every night. It's gotten better. But that journey continues. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday commitment to yourself of what are you committed to? Step into your greatness and be the best person that you were born and meant to be, right? And I've got a little guy that's looking up to me. So I'm held on a different pedestal. He expects mom to be strong and happy and never crying or whatever. And sometimes it's okay to cry and we have to talk about those things. But for me, I'm committed to being happy. I'm not committed to having negative thoughts and being miserable. I'm not committed to being angry and hurt. I'm not committed to believing that people are going to hurt you. I believe people want love. They want to feel loved. And so how can I do that today? It's a gesture of kindness, saying something nice, smiling at people, being kind, even when someone's being disrespectful and rude. I can give you all kinds of examples of that. It's crazy. This show could go on forever, but when someone wants to come at you and they're being sassy and they're just having a really bad day, I just look at them and say, you know what? You are loved. And if no one's told you that today, you are great. You're an amazing person and you're okay and you're safe and they love you. And oh my God, just like that, they look at you like I changed their state.
That's awesome.
Try it. I'm asking right now, anybody's listening to this, try it today. Go do that today. If you're fighting with your spouse or your daughter or whatever, go try that today. I'm telling you.
That's a great call to action. Yeah, all right. So that's our call to action to do today. So
the next time you're stuck in that monologue and you just want to be on it, okay, if you want to be on it, then be on it. Get away from me. I don't want to be around you. I want to be happy. So if you because you asked me, Tasha, when you're stuck in that state of mind and you just can't get off of it, it's start asking yourself questions about, what do you want? You get to choose your emotions. You really do. It's a practice. It's a discipline. It's not easy, but I used to be run by my emotions with anger and fear and jealousy and just all these negative things. And I'm just looking at myself who are you? Nobody wants to be around that.
And it's funny because I'm going to apply that to actions, because what I do is I'm really good at being happy. I'm really good at not listening. Let's say something does happen in my experience. I'm really good at not hearing the negative and going to a happy place. But where I get caught up is thinking about all the things I want to do in business, thinking about all the things I want to do in my podcast, in my candles, in this. And then I don't actually move and do them. And then I have to pick up my daughter. So I'm going to use that same goal to put it to action. I thought it, now do it, period. Actually do something toward that goal.
Well, yeah. Well, you can do something to change your state just to get you out of that right now. It may be something crazy sporadic, just start doing jumping jacks.
I used to do that.
Or just go take a walk. Yes. So like you were just saying, even though you have the thoughts and you have a sense of awareness and you shouldn't feel like this and you don't want to feel like this the rest of the day, sometimes it's just changing your physiological state of being. Go do something sporadic, start the lawnmower and just go and start mowing the lawn. I mean,
it's true. It starts energy. Yeah. It releases endorphins.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It changes your pattern. It changes your state. It changes your focus. So when your emotions aren't so focused on whatever it's feeling, it can feel something different. And sometimes for my son, I put him in front of a television show where he starts laughing. And I can change his state of that, where he's just angry. He's angry and he's throwing a major tantrum. And so I just turn on the TV or I tell him to go get a drink of water. I tell him, give me 5 push-ups right now. And he just looks at me like, no. I'm like, just give me 5 push-ups. And
She would do them so
Yep.
fast. I was scared she
And
was going to
so
hit her teeth on the floor. And I was like, all right, maybe I